got me stranded like a branch in the wind. Tell me what you long for. Oh, I want what you.
Elysian, I have nowhere to go. There's no water. Please change course.
There's no one around us. So, for those of you who are wondering why I think WildChild is the greatest boat in the entire world and why I think she's super awesome and I totally love her, nobody else can do this. 5.7 over 3.8. Wind angle 70, 80 degrees. Light winds 6 over 3. 5 over 3.8. We're doing almost 4 knots and 6 knots of light wind. There we go, 6 over 4 in very light winds. WildChild with full sails, no spinnaker, and she's going just fine. What do we need the engine for? Nah. Every other sailboat out here, of course, is motoring and there are no sails up because nobody would dare to try to sail in such light winds. They all gotta meet the schedule. Gotta meet the schedule. Gotta do no less than 6 knots at all time. Turn the engine on, turn the engine on. But, I mean, WildChild 6 over 4.2 right now. We're sailing just fine in light winds. Why not sail? Yep. WildChild's the best! Yes! Yeah, that's fine. She's not catching enough air to matter right now. Why is WildChild the best? Let me count the ways. Alina just reported 5.3 over 4 from the helm. We are doing 4 knots in 5.3 knots of light squirrely winds. How awesome is this boat? You can see I've got the whisker pole on the Jenny just to bring out and control the curve, and it worked like a charm. Brought our efficiency up to like 90%. WildChild is just the best sailing boat ever. God, I love this girl. So it's Tuesday, May 21st. WildChild is, 7 over 4. Wind angle, beam reach, port tack. We got the fishing rod out. And I don't know if you can see our little lure in the water down there. Where is it? Under, there it is. This little diving lure has a really good action to it, but it puts too much pressure when we're going over 5 knots. Like, this is like kind of a slow motion lure. Works better, I think, when we're, because it dives too much tongue, it's a diver. So I'm gonna change the lure on it. WildChild's going too fast now to use the diver. So you saw we just had the diving lure in, but with the size of the tongue on it, it really dives, so you can't go too fast with this one. Pulls down too deep, too much pressure. WildChild's speed's picked up now, 5 over 3. So I think what we're gonna try actually in the fishing tackle box of magical things is let's try our cedar plug, because we're in deep enough water where there is mahi-mahi. So apparently the cedar plug makes the mahi-mahi go crazy. It has a good like bubbling action on the surface. So let's try that. We actually lost our last cedar plug to some large fish when we were crossing from Abacos to Eleuthera. Something big took it. So we had to buy a new one. I think this is the 4th cedar plug that I bought. Let's try this. That's a cedar plug. It's literally just a piece of wood with a weight and a hook on it. But the action that it makes on the surface of the water creates a bubble trail, apparently. So Vince tells us it makes a bubble trail, and that drives the mahi wild. Obviously right now I gotta let it back, but it floats on the surface, and I just wanted to show you the action of the cedar plug. Apparently that's the best lure to catch a mahi. We know nothing about fishing, so we just take the words of others. Let's let it out and see what happens. Sailing, much like fishing, is about patience. WildChild's picked up to 7/5, so she's really moving now. It's a beautiful day, calm conditions, and sometimes when you're sailing, you just need to be patient and wait for the wind. Most sailors are in a rush to turn on the iron jenny, motor, never less than 5 or 6 knots all the time, gotta go, but you're sailing. If you wanted to go fast, buy a powerboat. If you didn't buy a powerboat, you bought a sailboat. You need to be patient. And we're doing fine now, 7/5, 90 degrees, portside tack beam reach, fishing. Sun is shining. Lexi's alone at the helm, and I'm going to read now because I'm getting bored. Alina's down below reading a book, just relaxing. Because it doesn't require both of us at the helm. Like, we're in 4,000 feet of water. There's no other boats around. There's no obstructions. We're a mile off the Exuma Keys. We're fine. It's pretty relaxed sailing when you're out in open water. It's kind of tense sailing like you saw yesterday when you're in shallow water, keel above the bottom, dodging rocks. That's not a relaxed way to sail. WildChild's okay. We're doing fine. Holy crap, we actually caught something. Wow!
Oh! Go and jump again for the camera.
Fishing rod really is not in an ideal position to reel it in, but it's the only space we have for it.
WildChild has caught a fish. We saw him jumping like crazy before, so we're hoping it's not a barracuda. He was jumping out like crazy about 100 meters behind us. We're bringing him in. We got to tire him out. WildChild's sailing along at 4/2, so we're going slow. Oh, he's over to the side now. He's trying to run beside us. Yeah, hold the rod so he can't pull it out of the holder. He's trying to get beside us now. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so freaking exciting. Yeah! He's definitely on there. Okay, just chill for a sec. When he's really pulling and the rod's really bending, just let him get tired. It means he's trying to swim away from it, and we just gotta wait till he tires out. And when he gets tired, then you take in the slack. So you kind of watch the bend of the rod. Just let him take it. If he takes it, let him take it. Means he's fighting and the reel is giving up. Like, rather than break the line, it's just spooling out because he's fighting right now. exciting. So I've made the sails on WildChild inefficient to slow her down because we don't want to give any pull advantage to the fish we're trying to reel in. The faster we go, the heavier his water drag. And he really just kind of took Alina for a run. He was almost under the boat and beside, now he's way out that way. He probably took another 100 feet of line for Alina to reel back in again. But this guy's coming home for dinner. We caught dinner. We're gonna catch dinner. Dinner, yeah, dinner. On a cedar plug. Cedar plug. That's the lure. The lure is called a cedar plug. It's a piece of wood with a hook in it. It is unbelievable that it actually works.
$500 in fishing gear is finally about to pay for itself. We are finally going to catch the first edible fish that the girls on WildChild have ever brought in.
Don't tighten or loosen that anymore. If you tighten it too much, the line will break rather than give, and we need it to give. So we have 60-pound line on, and we want it to drag at 40 pounds of pull, so we don't break the line.
Sorry that this next part is blurry, but for some reason the camera stopped focusing properly. The girls of WildChild have spent half an hour fighting with this fish. It is so close. We can see it in the water. We can see the colors. We can see it's a mahi. Here comes dinner.
It's blurry for some reason.
Doesn't want to come for dinner.
Girls are so excited. We're fighting with bated breath. We've been fighting with this fish for over half an hour. He's so close. He's getting tired. He's at the side of the boat. We're about to lift him on board for dinner. We are so excited! The girls caught a mahi. The girls caught a mahi with a cedar plug. And he's big too. Oh yeah. Oh, the mom. Yeah. Oh yeah. Of the boat. I need Eleanor to put down the camera, grab the gaff. She gaffs him, hooks him under the gills, and starts lifting him out of the water. And she lifts with all her might this big heavy fish till her arms can lift no further.
You have a gaff right?
Yeah, it's right
Do you
here.
understand how to gaff him? You're gonna have to do that. You stick it underneath his mouth and you yank up and you hook him in the gills.
Yeah, okay.
And Elena is not physically strong enough to lift this giant fish into the boat. She gets it up to the edge of the tow rail. It senses its death, starts thrashing madly, falls off the gaff into the water, dives directly under the boat. The line rubs against a barnacle on the bottom, and it gets free. We lost it.
And Alina put down the camera to gaff him, and we gaffed him, and she was lifting him up, and he was really heavy. He started fighting, and she wasn't strong enough to get him in the boat. He fell off the gaff. I still had him on the rod, and I'm holding against him, but then he started to fight, and he dove down, and then he dove under the boat. Once the line rubbed on the side of the boat, it snapped. We just lost our cedar plug, and we just lost our first mahi-mahi. Oh, you guys saw it on camera, so I think it still counts almost. We weren't strong enough to lift it into the boat.
I am really heartbroken. Like, I am absolutely devastated that we could not get the fish in the boat. We weren't physically strong enough. We failed. And I don't like to fail. We had a big, probably 30 or 40 pound mahi-mahi. He was probably 3.5 feet long, maybe 4 feet long, big boy. We had him right to the side of the boat. We had the gaff in the gills. We had him halfway out of the water. And we weren't strong enough to lift him out. Emotionally, I'm devastated. Like, I'm gonna kick myself all day. I'm not used to accepting failure or defeat. But it is what it is, I guess.